Hi guys, and welcome back to CFOP Cubing. Today I'm going to teach you the best way to learn algorithms. First, make sure that you're not cramming a bunch of algorithms into your brain. It's going to be hard and you're not going to be able to learn them as well. It's also going to be a lot harder to use them once you get the case. You kind of want to learn them in bite-sized pieces so you can learn them well at a constant rate. There are actually two parts to an algorithm and only one of them is learning the turns. The other one is memorizing the case that the algorithm will solve. Some are really easy to recognize, like some OLLs, but some are a lot harder, like some ZBLLs. So to start, make sure that you have the case that you're learning memorized, so that you know what the algorithm you're learning will do. Now that you have that down, you can memorize the algorithm, but make sure that the one you're learning is actually a good one. If you're learning a certain alg set, you can just check my channel, and I have good algorithms in my videos. Still, there are some websites with really good algorithms, like jperm.net. I do believe videos are better though, and I'll get into that later. One way to make algorithms easier to learn is to separate the algorithms up into triggers. A trigger is just a small sequence of moves that you have memorized from other algorithms, and then you can use that to make the algorithm that you're learning much easier to learn. For instance, this OLL seems kind of like a long algorithm and a little bit of a nuisance to learn. But you can separate this up into two triggers, one called a sexy and one called a sledgehammer, and since you have those two memorized, it makes it super easy. Sexy, sledgehammer. Now once you have the algorithm broken up into triggers, it's going to make it a lot easier to do the algorithm, but you can actually make it even easier. The way you do that is by looking at what you're doing in the algorithm. For instance, here's a COLL algorithm that I was learning recently. This algorithm starts with a pretty nice trigger. It goes like this. Now after that, I can just track what the pieces do. For instance here, what I'm going to do is I want to pair this up like this, and then insert it into the back, and then I want to bring this to the front and insert it. Now instead of memorizing all the notation and just the moves that you're doing, it can make it a lot easier. Now here's the part of the video where I tell you that videos are a lot better than just websites. Memorizing just the algorithms is not the whole thing. You also want to make sure you're doing the right finger tricks because it can make the algorithm much faster. For my videos, I always make sure that I use the right finger tricks for an algorithm. Once you start to be able to do the algorithm without looking, just drill it. As you get it down better, try to do it very fast, without thinking. This will help it to get into your muscle memory, which is extremely important for learning algorithms. Now in some ways, websites can be better than videos. Websites are a lot better for drilling your algorithms. If you go to jperm.net, there's a lot of common algorithm sets where you can select certain algorithms that you're learning or have learned, and then you can drill them with the trainer. Just do the scramble that the trainer instructs you to do, and you'll get one of the cases. You also can change the algorithms that you want to show up. By clicking here, you can customize the algorithms that you want to show up. You can choose algorithms that you've learned or are learning, or just certain groups that you want to learn. You can even drill the algorithms that are your slowest. Use the spacebar to time yourself, and the right arrow if you want a little bit of help on the algorithm that you're doing. After doing it though, take a break. Taking a break and letting your brain rest for a little bit is a lot more important than you might think. Even though you don't think your brain is working very hard when you're doing the algorithm, taking a break and letting it absorb the algorithm subconsciously is actually very helpful. You can come back maybe 15 minutes later and drill some more. You may be much better then, but chances are you're going to have a little bit of trouble remembering it. That's okay, just try to remember it without looking. If you have to look though, that's okay. Once you start trying to drill it and you're not really able to do it that well, keep in mind the parts that you kind of struggle with, and then drill those certain spots. Once you start to get fairly comfortable with that algorithm, you can learn the next one. You can go through the same process, but when you finish your break, start with the algorithm that you learned first. Do it maybe 10 times, and then see if you can remember the next one. After you have the second one down, add a third one. 3 is probably a good number to end on for one day, but if that's just too easy, you can add more. Just remember to not cram in too much information in one day. Now in the morning of the next day, see if you can remember the algorithms. It'll probably be pretty hard, but take it slow. After you have those 3 down, learn another 3 the same way. With that technique, you can learn algorithms really well. If this video helped you at all, leave a like. If you want to support me, click subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.